Have you ever wondered, what if your anxiety, your repeating relationships, even the same struggles showing up again and again, are not personal failures, but neurological déjà vu? Have you ever wondered why the same patterns keep finding you? Why the same kinds of relationships appear? The same emotional triggers? The same arguments? The same feeling of being unseen, unchosen, or unsafe? Even though the people and situations are different, why does life feel like you're moving forward, yet somehow circling back to the same emotional ground? In the last video, we explored something unsettling. What you call reality is not reality at all, but a construction, a perception shaped by memory, colored by emotion, and filtered through the nervous system. Vedanta calls this Maya. Not illusion as in nothing exists, but illusion as in misperception, a partial truth mistaken for the whole. But this raises an even deeper question. If reality is perception, why does your life feel so repetitive? Why do patterns echo through your relationships? Why does your story stay the same even when everything around you changes? The answer is simple and devastating. You are moving, but your nervous system is walking in a loop. Not because you are stuck, but because you are conditioned. Modern neuroscience reveals something profound. Your brain is not designed to create a new future. It is designed to predict a familiar one. Moment by moment, it chooses what feels most known, most likely, most familiar, even when that familiar feeling is painful. Neuroscientist Neil Seth calls this a controlled hallucination. Your brain constructing experience based on predictions from the past. Every emotion, every interpretation, every identity you rehearse strengthens a neural pathway. And when the same thoughts and emotions repeat, your neurons fire in the same sequence, over and over and over. Neurons that fire together wire together. With repetition, these pathways become stronger, faster, more automatic, until one day you are no longer choosing your thoughts. Your thoughts are choosing you. And then something even more powerful happens. Your body begins to memorize the thoughts, because each thought produces a chemical response, and each emotion leaves a physiological signature. Over time, your body becomes conditioned to what is familiar, even if it hurts you. Anxiety, guilt, shame, longing, fear, unworthiness. Your body knows these well. They are predictable. They are chemically recognizable. Psychologist Lisa Feldman Barrett shows that emotions are not fixed things you feel, but states your brain constructs based on past experience. So if your past is saturated with fear or rejection, your nervous system learns to expect these emotions and to unconsciously recreate them. The body, like the brain, does not choose what's true. It chooses what's known. This is why you can meet someone entirely new and somehow replay the same emotional story from years ago. Not because you consciously choose it, but because your nervous system recognizes the emotional climate before it recognizes the person. So patterns repeat, partners repeat, dynamics repeat, endings repeat, versions of you repeat. It looks like fate, but it is not fate. It is conditioning, neurological conditioning. And this is exactly where Vedanta and neuroscience converge. In Vedanta, this conditioning is called Samskara, a deep emotional imprint stored in the subtle body, a memory without conscious awareness, a pattern so deeply carved that it begins to feel like identity. And identity, repeated long enough, begins to feel like reality. But the rishis mapped the pattern further. From Samskara, which is impression, emerges Vasana, which is a tendency, an inclination, a habit of being. From Vasana arises karma, which means the action that flows out of that tendency. From karma comes experience that reinforces the original Samskara. This is not superstition. It is ancient psychology. In modern language, Samskara is emotional imprint. Vasana is behavioral tendency. Karma is predictable action/reaction. Repetition leads to reinforced neural circuitry. The Gita never describes karma as punishment. Karma is the momentum of past impressions. Karma equals action plus memory plus momentum, not reward, not punishment, not fatalism. Karma is simply the residue left inside you after each experience. Every encounter leaves something behind: a memory, a nervous system adaptation, a belief, a desire, a fear, a wound, a habit. This residue shapes your next action, and that action leaves more residue. This is karma. Karma is the loop of unconsciousness. Vedanta describes three kinds of karma. Sanchit karma, the storage, your vast library of impressions, past tendencies, subconscious patterns. Not all of this will ripen in one life. Prarabdha karma, the activated slice, the specific patterns chosen to ripen in this lifetime. Your family, early conditions, key relationships, your deepest wounds, your catalytic turning points. This cannot be avoided. It is the arrow already in flight, but how you meet it is everything. Kriyaman karma, the karma you are making now, your present choices, your boundaries, your self-worth, your nervous system state, your healing. This is where free will lives. This is where destiny bends. This is where karma dissolves. Here is the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science. Karma is not cosmic punishment. Karma is patterned neurology. You repeat karmic patterns not because you deserve them, but because your body is addicted to familiar emotions. Your subconscious is replaying old templates. Your nervous system is scanning for known signals. Your beliefs filter perception. In scientific language, an intense experience happens which leads to pleasure, pain, rejection, loss. It forms a samskara, a deep emotional imprint. Samskara becomes vasana. I expect this. I fear this. I attract this. Vasana shapes karma, predictable action and reaction. Karma recreates a similar experience, reinforcing the original samskara. Different people, same story. Different scenes, same emotional script. This is the loop. This is karma. This is conditioning. And this too is Maya. In the Ved, a profound statement appears. Yatha pinde tatha brahmande. As is the body, so is the universe. You are not separate from the cosmos. The patterns within you mirror the patterns of reality itself. The cycles that shape galaxies shape your emotional life. The laws that govern stars govern your nervous system. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm, a self-contained universe. And just as the universe moves in cycles, creation, sustenance, dissolution, rebirth, you move through cycles of thought, emotion, identity. Your mind returns to familiar stories. Your heart returns to familiar climates. Your relationships arrange themselves into familiar constellations. Even modern physics at its deepest layers suggests that reality is not made of solid objects, but of relationships and processes. A continuous dance of energy and pattern. Vedanta has been saying the same for thousands of years. Reality is not a fixed thing. Reality is a living process in which consciousness, energy, and matter interweave endlessly. And then comes the Mahavakya, the great statement of truth. Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. The essence that permeates the cosmos. That is the essence that looks through your eyes. You. Not the you shaped by conditioning. Not the you shaped by trauma. Not the you shaped by fear. But the awareness behind all of it. You are not the wave. You are the ocean appearing as a wave. You are not the character. You are the screen on which the character moves. But in forgetting this, the bondage begins. That bondage is samskara, not a cycle of physical rebirth alone, but a cycle of psychological rebirth, identity after identity, story after story, mask after mask, the same internal world projecting itself onto new external forms, not punishment, just forgetfulness. And moksha is not escape. It is remembrance. The remembrance of who is living this life. The remembrance of who you are beneath story, memory, and mind. There is one question capable of ending suffering, not because it changes your life instantly, but because it changes the one you believe yourself to be. The question is, who is aware of this thought? Not what is the thought. Not why does it exist. Not how do I stop it. But who is aware of it? The moment you ask this, a space opens. A quiet distance forms between the thought and the one who notices it, between the emotion and the awareness that perceives it. And in that space, the loop begins to break. That which notices fear is not afraid. That which notices stress is not stressed. The witness is untouched. In Vedanta, this is Sakshi Bhava, the attitude of the witness. In psychology, it is metacognition and self-distancing. In trauma science, it is the moment the system begins to unblend, the separation of identity from reaction. And at the level of the nervous system, this shift is profoundly physical. According to Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, the moment you feel safe enough to observe, your body exits survival mode and enters a state of regulation and flexibility. When you shift from I am the character in the story to I am aware of the character in the story, the nervous system receives a new message. I am safe. I am not in danger. I am not the story. This is the entry into neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new pathways, new interpretations, new ways of being. This is the scientific foundation of transformation and the spiritual meaning of mindfulness. Not bypassing, not suppressing, not forcing positivity, but witnessing, peeling away layers of identification. I am the body. I am the mind. I am the emotion. I am the trauma. Until only one truth remains. I am, not as a phrase, but as direct awareness. Here, Tat Tvam Asi becomes intimate. The same I am that shines in all beings is the I am that awakens in you when you rest as the witness. Each moment you rest here, the old program loosens its grip, not through effort, through clarity, not through force, through safety. This is not self-improvement. This is self-remembering. This is the beginning of Jivan Mukti, liberation within life. In the Ved, Moksha is the ultimate liberation. The realization that Atman is Brahman, that consciousness is not inside you. You are inside consciousness. Ending the illusion of separation, moving past the limited I, ego, or ahankar, to the underlying luminous true self, Atman, which is the ultimate universal reality, Brahman. But at the human level, moksha begins more softly. It begins as a loosening in the body, a spaciousness in identity, a quiet knowing, I am not the story, I am not the pattern, I am not the program. It is the end of living on autopilot, the end of repeating the past, the end of being ruled by memory, chemistry, and trauma. This is Jivan Mukti, freedom within life. A Jivan Mukt is not someone perfect. A Jivan Mukt is someone free. Free from moh, the illusion of attachment, the belief that I am this pain, I am this fear, I am this identity. Moh is not attachment to objects. Moh is attachment to the story you think you are. And when moh dissolves, life becomes simple. Love without possession, loss without collapse, pleasure without addiction, pain without identification. Neurologically, this looks like a regulated nervous system, flexible neural pathways, emotional responses rooted in the present, not the past. What trauma science calls updating your survival map, Vedanta calls releasing karmic bondage. As Bessel van der Kolk says, the body keeps the score, but with awareness, the score can be rewritten. When awareness stabilizes, the tight inner doer dissolves. What remains is presence, clarity, freedom, not when the body dies, but when ignorance does. You don't escape the world. You awaken from the version of yourself imprisoned in it. Because the moment you stop identifying with the body, mind, story, or trauma, you realize that you were never bound. You were only dreaming that you were. This is the doorway from Maya to Moksha, from I am this small self to Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. Now, do nothing. Do not fix anything. Do not change anything. Simply ask, who is aware of these words? Who is listening? Notice that this awareness remains unchanged, even as the mind moves, even as emotions rise and fall, even as the body shifts. Awareness remains. Rest there, not to achieve anything, not to become anyone, not to heal the past, but simply to remember, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that, and that is enough. In the next video, we move from the mind into the body, into the practices that encode safety, presence, and a new identity at the cellular level. Because awakening is not intellectual. Awakening is embodied. And when the body remembers safety, the soul remembers truth.